said, we said, this is John, aka Jonny Walker, giving you my weekly spoiler review of The Walking Dead. This is for Season 7, Episode 8, the mid-season finale. This one's titled, Heart Still Beating. So, yeah, awesome. Super excited about this episode. If you were to kind of put together like a package of things that I love about The Walking Dead and wrap it into a nice little care package and send it to the creators of the show and say, John wants to see this, John wants to see that, make sure this and this happens. That was this episode. This one had the good feels for once. It had all the characters. It was fast-paced as far as the jumping around goes, but it made sense. It never lagged, and it never seemed disjointed. All the storylines connected. The whole time, the episode felt like it was building towards something, and it definitely was, and it definitely paid off. So at the beginning, we have a nice little scene with Maggie at the hilltop. She's on guard duty, and Mr. King Dick comes over and is kind of just like, so everyone says that you're pretty cool and people like you. Just don't get used to it. And she kind of slaps it right back in his face, and she said, "You know what, douche? I am the shit, and give me your apple." And he's such a worm, such a spineless bastard. He's now public douche number one. Now that, spoiler alert, someone got gutted, which we'll talk about later. But Gregory is now number one king douche. So congratulations on the promotion, Your Highness. So then Papa Negan is shaving his face. He's playing house with his make-believe wife, Olivia, and his kids, Carl and Judith. And then he's giving shaving tips to everyone's favorite serial killer, Carl. And that was just kind of a funny scene. It's just like, oh, I'm going to try this whole dad thing, this whole domestic life thing out. And we all knew that it wasn't going to last long, right away. Most uncomfortable dinner ever of, nice plate of spaghetti and everything, but he just has no patience. He has no time for this. He's kind of goading everyone along and getting real impatient because Lucille's getting real thirsty. So then it bounces back to Daryl in the cell, and he actually does get out. Then, thank God, the guy finds a jar of peanut butter, so he's actually eating something better than dog food sandwiches for once. He's chowing down on the peanut butter. He gets out. He went the same way he did the last time he got caught, which I thought was a little bizarre, but I guess you go where you know. He goes to grab a motorcycle, and then lo and behold, Mr. Fat Joe comes walking up. Oh, hey, buddy, I'm not going to see, I didn't see anything. And Daryl just straight out Negans him. He Lucille's him. We'll call her just straight up Lucy because she didn't have the barbed wire. He went roughshod on poor Joe's face just in time for Daryl's Uber Jesus to come in and witness the brutal beating, but still takes him back, and good for Daryl, he's out. So then we go to the bobbing for walkers scene. Really cool scene with Rick and Aaron. They are crossing the moat, so to speak, and they break little pieces off the sign. They're rowing. There's like a sea of walkers. I love how they're rowing and they're poking the walkers, and I believe it's Rick's little sign says asshole, so he's just jabbing asshole into these walkers' faces. There's a quick little scare. Of course, it's The Walking Dead. We're gonna get a fake death scare, but this one I didn't mind because it wasn't too crazy. The walkers grab Aaron off the boat. Aaron doesn't seem like in too much peril at all. They swim to shore in safely. So they're walking around this place, and whoever was there seems to, he leaves a nice little note for them. Congratulations, you made it, but there's really nothing here. You still lost. But then we get the first ominous boot scene. So we see these ominous boots, and God knows who this is. It's setting something up. If you have any idea who it is, because I really don't, maybe it's someone from the comics that I just couldn't put together, leave in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Who owns the mysterious boots? Going back to the outskirts of the kingdom, Carol's little house, her little outpost, I guess. She has like no shortage of suitors, basically. She has daily visitors of Morgan, Ezekiel, always bringing her fruit, And then Home Dude comes by and he says, "Hey, let's talk." And he sits mom and dad down and he says, "Hey, let's figure something out. We need to get rid of this savior problem." There was a really nice scene, really touching scene of him. I'm blanking on his name right now. You guys are all screaming his name at me. The Kingdom guy. There's a really touching scene of him going to an RV and just kind of losing his marbles. Maybe because, Carol and Morgan Carol really shot him down as far as, getting together and fighting against the saviors. Maybe that just kind of broke him down, or maybe that there's something with that camper that's where he lives. Maybe that's where his family got killed, which he alluded to earlier in the scene. I'm not sure, but I really like that guy. I just can't think of his name, but I really like that guy, and I like the dynamic of what's going on moving forward. So then we're on a joyride with Michonne. So she wants the savior again to show her where the sanctuary is. And they make it maybe a mile out, and Michonne's just kind of, you just see the look in her face like, oh shit, like this is going to be a tall order. It's an entire, city full of enemies. They both, it was pretty cool. They both kind of know that lady's not making it out. And she just said, "Hey, the silencer's in the glove box, and just do it." She does it. She drives off. She goes back to Alexandria. Nice little church scene with Rosita and Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel, I love his progression this season. I love his progression. He went from one of the most disliked characters by me and probably by everyone, just a voice of like comfort and encouragement, with not being too overly preachy. Like, he knows what's going on. He's not like a zealot anymore. Where Rosita said, Negan has to die, and oh well, if I have to die too, as long as I take out this son of a bitch. And Gabriel said, yeah, he does have to die. And, he's to that point where he accepts the brutality of the world, but he just wants people to kind of think about consequences and choices that they make. One more thing about Father Gabriel, he's kind of assuming the Herschel role at this point, where he is that kind of wise. He is kind of that wise person to give advice to the other survivors. But he doesn't take shit. Like, he made Spencer stop the car when he was just going out of line, and he was just talking so much shit about Rick. He said, "You know what? I don't want to hear this anymore. I'm done." He's grown some balls. I really enjoy his progression. We have kind of a sweet scene with Rosita and Spencer. She basically tells him that she used him for, to keep the bed warm. But that's Rosita, she used him for a distraction. It just kind of like how Abraham used her. So, he still wants to make things work. He has to, make her dinner. She seemed a little happy, but whatever. She's just like, whatever, you're here, I might as well use you. And then we get the the funny, like, pep talk scene with Spencer. He goes in the house, and he's just kind of looking at himself in the mirror, practicing how to say hi and start conversation with Negan. Because he's like, it's not even like he's nervous. He's like excited. It's like it's a job interview for him. He's thinking, I'm going to get rid of Rick. I'm going to be top dick here. Rosita's going to love me. I'm going to have all these women or whatever. He thinks he's going to be like a little clean-cut Negan, and he's just such a weasel, which makes it even more satisfying with what comes up pretty soon. So Rick gets back to Alexandria with Aaron. They're going through their stuff. The savior bullies are, just going through the cachet that they brought back. They find the note from that guy, Mr. Boots, and they take offense to it. They beat the living hell out of Aaron. Unfortunately, Aaron just, takes it, and Rick just kind of stands there and lets him. Which, it was tough, but, Aaron took it like a champ. We get Negan and Spencer just kind of shooting the shit on the porch. They're drinking, expensive whatever, scotch or something, and then shooting pool, and Spencer's feeling real good about himself. Negan's like, "You might just be my best friend." And he's just feeling so good, and he thinks he's just writing his ticket to Easy Street. And little does he know, you got no guts. Oh, yeah, you do. They were inside you the whole time. R.I.P. Spencer. You're such a douche. And you're gone. That was a satisfying scene. Again, right? That was right out of the book. It was awesome. Just basically Negan telling Spencer that he can't even hold Rick's jock. And Rick and Negan are enemies, but Negan has a respect for Rick. Negan has a respect for people that are willing to do what they need to do. People with balls, good leaders. That's why he's kept Daryl alive after he punched him, in the first episode. That's why he kept Rick alive, because he is a badass. That's why he kept Carl alive after he shot some of his men. Rosita, these people that have shown, balls to Negan, he likes the challenge. He keeps them around. He guts the gutless, which was great. So, see you later, Spencer. It's been fun. Then the unfortunate scene. This was the part that I was worried about the most, and I'll just go through this real quick. I was watching a video on Trev's channel, which I tend to do because he's amazing. Go check out his stuff. And I have a friend that I talk about this show with, and we had discussed. She kind of brought it to my attention. She said, "What if Rosita shoots Olivia, and while Olivia's holding baby Judith, and Olivia falls down, her lifeless body crushes Judith, and we go full circle, and Judith gets the death that she has escaped, that she did in the comic books." I was really nervous about this scene because you knew as soon as, Rosita, after Negan kills Spencer, Rosita takes out the gun and fires. And she did actually a pretty good job. You had to suspend disbelief a little bit that Negan kind of, deflected the bullet with Lucille. And Lucille didn't even, shatter or anything. But whatever. That was fine. I thought that was a little weird. But, Rosita shoots at Negan. Negan gets real pissed off and just tells his henchwoman, just kill someone. And so she just turns around, boom, gets Olivia. Even then, even after Olivia goes down, a little part of me is just like, shit, did that bullet go through Olivia's head? Did it do something? And did it go in the house? And did it still hit Judith? I was almost positive that Judith was going to eat it, and I have to say, I'm glad it didn't happen, because, I don't want to see a kid die. I didn't even like when whiny-ass Sam died, but it's just not one of my favorite things when the kids die on the show. Call me whatever, but, Judith is fine, so I could sleep at night. I love this was my favorite little scene with Negan and Rick. Negan's just like, what's the matter? You have one less mouth to feed, and she could eat a lot, and I took care of this little weasel for you. He was trying to get me to kill you, and I brought your son back. Like, why? It's so weird. It's like he wants Rick to like him, because, he even tells Spencer, he's like, oh, you're cool. You get to, you feed me scotch, and we play pool together, and Rick just sits there and broods and gives me those side looks like I'm going to, F you up one day. But, but Negan's, almost looking for Rick's approval somewhat at this point. So, then, pretty intense scene. It looks like Negan's going to have, Rosita killed or Rosita damaged in some way. And then it doesn't work because, he's trying to get whoever made the bullet to confess to making the bullet. Tara steps up at the last second, and they almost get on her, which, okay, cool. One up for Tara. You gain a little bit back since your episode. Ugh! Right before they, fist bump Tara in the face with a bullet, then Eugene, steps up, grows a pair finally, and says, no, of course I made it. And then he starts giving the schematics of how, just so, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that it was him that made the bullet. And Negan said, okay, and I'm taking him with us, because, again, even though he made the bullet, even though that Rosita tried to kill Negan sees value in having someone that knows how to make bullets, and having, there's value in having someone like Rosita around. Which is just, I love Negan's character. Then again, just like a little, nice little present for me on Christmas morning, we get to see, Spencer kind of, everyone walks away, and then we get to see Spencer turn, and he just kind of looks up at Rick, and then just, Rick takes pleasure in just putting his ass down. So, I was right. And if you watch Talking Dead, guys, last week, I said that my death predictions for this episode, I said that Spencer gets it. Absolutely, 100%. He had to get it. So Spencer got it. And then I also said and I think Tyler asked me who does it, or I might have just offered it up, and I said either Negan's going to get him, like in the comic book, or Rick's going to do it. And I was kind of right both ways, because Negan took care of him, he gutted him out, and he bled him out, but then, Rick did get the coup de grace, which was great. So I was kind of right on both ends. And we just get a cool scene, with the Phils tugging on the heartstrings. This episode ended on actually an optimistic, a happy note for once. You see Maggie, on her guard post. She's a pregnant lady, but she's not taking it easy. As long as people are throwing her up apples, her face just lights up, and it almost lights up to the fact where it's like, is she gonna see like a vision of Glenn or something? Like, is she daydreaming? Is something happening? But no, it is. The boys are back in town, and it's Rick, it's Michonne, it's everyone. They come and knocking Rosita to the hilltop. They open it up, and then they walk in. Everyone's having it's a nice little reunion. He looks over. Daryl's there. Daryl just breaks down. He starts crying. He grabs Rick like the long lost brother. Oh, man, it was a good, heartfelt scene. Everyone's happy, even Rosita and Sasha. They're giving each other the stink eye. They're like, what, bury that shit with Abraham. It's all good. It's all good now. And then freaking Daryl hands over Rick's six-shooter like a boss. And, this episode was awesome. This episode was awesome. Let's score this one. So for the last episode review of this half of the season, this one's going big. I'm going 4.9 out of 5 feet of entrails. That's right, 4.9 out of 5 feet of entrails. Spencer's entrails, yes. This one was incredible. It was one of my favorite episodes. Yes, I know, Walking Dead, it's all brutal, and it's vicious, and it's visceral, and all these things, and it's supposed to invoke all this hopeless feeling all the time, but sometimes you need to have a rainbow. Sometimes you need to have a shining light, and this episode was that. It ended on a high note for once, and we did get some character deaths. We got Spencer dying. We got Olivia dying. I didn't want to see Olivia die, but it happened. And with Eugene, they're taking him, and no good's going to come of that. He's going to have to make bullets for the man, so to speak. But it ended on such a good note. Just them walking up to the hilltop. They're going to get shit done. The kingdom's in it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And, they'll bring Oceanside into the fold, at least their guns, because I'm sorry, but those people can't shoot for shit. That's what it is. Anyways, guys, that's the review. That's my mid-season review for Heart Still Beating. It was a good one. And you're not going to miss me or anything. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back for Dead Guys Talking Episode 2 this week. Coming up, we got Tyler, we got me, Dead Guys Talking each and every week. And then, we're still putting together the Dead Guys Talking Survival Trivia game. That's going to come up. Now I have a little bit more time because the review is not going to happen every week. So maybe do the trivia game every other week. Man, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, I'll see you next time.